What's up, guys? It's another episode of Off the Post. I'm your host, DJ Redcap. And as you can see, we have a nice young panel here. Young panel, or old panel, whichever you prefer to call it. And we're going to talk about that crazy game yesterday with Mexico versus the U.S. Women's National Team. It had a ton of goals. I thought, Mexico scored about 3, the U.S. Women's National Team scored about 5. Yes? No? Okay, I'm lying. Oh, well. I predicted a ton of goals, and I failed as usual. But let's go and see what the panel are up to first, and then we'll jump into that game. I haven't seen this woman in a long time. What have you been up to, June?
I've been working, been really busy. It's been a very long and painful hiatus for me for the show, but I'm so glad to be back and ready to talk about this game, or rip it apart, whichever you prefer.
Oh boy, a rant is coming soon, and I thought that section was retired. Jackie,
No.
No, it hasn't. All right, that's fair. I haven't seen Jackie in a while. Actually, I've seen her OP, which all of you should go watch if you haven't, because many people have had an opinion on it and actually enjoyed it. What have you been up to, Jackie?
Pretty much the same, working, and I have a long day tomorrow, so I'm going to bed really soon. So.
If you all look in the background, Jackie has positioned her Hope solo book on purpose so it can be seen. So. And now, Danica, what have you been up to today?
Pretty much the same thing. In general, I've been working. Today's been really relaxed, jeez. But it's freezing in, DC, I think it's freezing, so I don't like that. And I want to go back to the West Coast.
Ah, yes, Arizona. Understandable. I think we all want to head to Arizona.
85 degrees. I'm not there.
I prefer 2 degrees. No, I'm lying. Also, if you want to talk to us during this show, you can use the hashtag WosoTalk, or you can use a new hashtag that I'm just making up for just 2 seconds ago. DJ is here. Don't use that one. Use the WosoTalk hashtag. All right. So I guess we should jump into here and talk about the usual stuff. Talk about what we were expecting going into it, because I don't think any of us were expecting a 1-0 game. So we'll start with you, Jen. What were you expecting going into this game?
Well, I also certainly wasn't expecting a 1-0 game. I was expecting Mexico to pull back a little bit from the Puerto Rico game because it's 2 completely different classes of teams. I did expect a lot of what we had seen from the previous games, that what we had been building on. I expected that to continue. And of course I expected some more goals than what we got. So, safe to say none of my expectations came true.
All right. Well, fair enough. Danica, what were you expecting to start lineups? Were you expecting a change, or were you expecting to see the same thing out there?
I was expecting the same thing. I think they really want to work on the Brian Horan and then the Lloyd Morgan kind of group or partnership. So that wasn't really surprising. I wanted to see McCaffrey because I wanted to see how she would do, but that didn't happen. But on the Mexico side, I was really excited to be watching Dominguez, 37, and she got a hat trick, right? So that's kind of cool. So that was exciting. And then the goalkeeper, Cecilia Santiago, I've heard I haven't watched too many Mexican games, but good things have been said. So I was excited to see how she did, and obviously didn't like the result.
And Jackie, what were your expectations leading into this one?
Well, I knew that Mexico would have a different look than the World Cup, and it proved to be crucial for them as they have improved, I think, drastically on the defensive end. And as for the United States, I did expect more goals, and I was hoping that Ellis would play KO or McCaffrey or even Mewis, but as usual, she let me down. So it was a bit lackluster for me as a whole. So, but I mean, that's not really a bad thing. I think it's a combination of the fact that we've been playing kind of bad teams lately, and so maybe we've kind of lost a little bit of focus and sharpness. So,
Yeah, I guess my expectations going in, I remember talking with Jake last episode. We didn't know if she would go in and change things up with the lineup, or if she would stick with this and do a bunch of chemistry. And I think he even said it, that she would probably keep things together for this second game and let the team really build off of developing. I keep feeling like now this is going to be her main setup, and then she'll change it up here and there going forward. But this is her main players she wants in these roles, and we'll see these people playing within these roles for the duration of time unless something happens or someone starts to play outstanding or from the bench or something, but I doubt it. I think she's going to stick with. We know how she is. She gets in with a little set people that she likes, and she's going to play them. So now let's actually talk about that exciting game. Danica, what were your thoughts on the first half of this game?
Oh my god. I think they went into it expecting to get a goal quickly, but with that bunker defense, it didn't happen, so it's got really, really frustrated. And instead of being like, hey, like maybe let's step back, pass around, try and open up some holes, they're just like, no, let's just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and maybe it'll work this time. And it didn't work. So I think that they just got really frustrated and were doing dumb things, like a lot of heavy touches, a lot of really bad passes, and yeah, they were just really impatient. I was kind of like, well, even players who like normally do really well were just not doing well. It's like kind of like, Morgan Bryan, where are you? What are you doing? And then even Brune, when she had I don't know what happened. I think it's second half actually, but like when she had messed up and Dominguez was going in, I was like, oh my god, like we may like get behind right now, and I was just like freaking out. But and then at least she recovered because it's Brune. But still, I think it's just everyone. I think someone had made the joke like, did they all go out drinking last night? Because that was just not. They were just not there seemingly.
And they did. No, I'm joking. I don't know. Maybe not. Jackie, your thoughts on the first and second half of the game?
Well, Mexico, I think, had a very organized defense and a very solid game plan, which I think they should be happy with the performance, but not the outcome. And as far as the U.S., we had a few chances, but it was a matter of us just not finishing or just not being creative enough in the final third. Yeah, the first half was not very pretty to watch.
Did she disappear, or is that?
I think that's you.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking which side, and I was waiting. I was like, "There's something coming." Wait a moment. Okay. And Jen, because you have a ton to say, what were your thoughts on that first half?
The first half, I think both halves could be summed up as extremely frustrating if I had to pick one term for it, but it was just a complete and utter mess. You know, okay, credit to Mexico, they had a game plan, try to limit the number of goals, and they did it really well. I'm just surprised by how much more physical they seemed to be than the U.S. was. You know, they were pushing the line quite a bit, but it was working for them because this was not a well refereed game for either side. You know, Mexico was getting away with quite a number of challenges that weren't being called, and I think the U.S. let it get to them because you can see it. They were visibly getting frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I really don't think anybody played well in that first half at all. Maybe I'll give maybe a slight exception to Julie Johnson. I don't think she was terrible, but yeah, everything that we had been building for over the last few games just went right out the window. No connection, no chemistry. You know, a lot of, like was said, a lot of bad touches, brick feet, shall we say. You know, just nothing was working, and I don't know if it was more us playing like crap or Mexico playing well. So, yeah, nothing really good in that first half.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if it's one of those things that you said. I think you said it, Jackie, like, or that we're playing against these bad teams, so we're getting to the point where we're kind of getting a bit sloppy and lazy with because it's like, oh, we're going to come out for a result anyway and win it. So it's like we're losing a bit of focus, and I can see that happening after some time because our schedule usually is a ton of bad teams throughout the year anyway, and usually we usually win them somehow no matter what, even if it is a 1-0 result and people are kind of shocking up in arms. But maybe they just weren't as focused in that first half, and then there was no urgency because, hey, we're going to beat Mexico. We always do. Danica, what were your thoughts on the second half?
So I really wanted Jill Ellis to go in there and kind of like slap them and be like, all right, guys, okay, come on, let's do this. But that didn't happen. I think there was a little bit more of like passing along, trying to create plays, kind of a little bit more of that, but not nearly enough. And then Press coming in for Dunn, I think it was kind of obviously Press. I was expecting Press to come in. A little surprised for Dunn just because I felt like first half she was the one kind of doing the most. But I mean, that made I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then when Pugh came in for Krieger on like the corner kick, I was like, right now, this is when we're doing this, like right at this moment. And so, but I guess like at first I was just kind of like when they were coming in, I was like, God, you really could use like an A-Rod right now. But of course, you had to get pregnant, so yay, great for her. But yeah, well, it's funny because you look at the last time we played Mexico, it was what 5-1. And all those goal scorers, like none of them are on our team right now. So you're like, oh my god. So yeah, Pugh coming in, I was like, okay, it's exciting. You're having new, like, she's done well so far, so that makes sense. Then when Hinkle came in, it's just like, what about KO? Like, what about our experienced defender? That would be fun instead. But no, they didn't do that. So, oh, and then she did that terrible giveaway. I was just like, thank God for hope. We have hope. So
we have hope, indeed.
I know, seriously. I really want the Seattle Reign to like get a chant going of like "We've got hope" or something like that. Like you really gotta work on that. Come on, that's completely different. And so yeah, not a good second half. Although I think they did better.
I actually think we can push for that chant to actually get going. So we should push for that during the season.
It's a great one.
It's okay.
I mean, I thought of it, so I think it's great.
All right, Jackie, your thoughts on the second half of some of those substitutions that made some people scratch their head?
Man, yeah, the Dunn substitution with Press coming in, I actually was okay with that. Because Press, I think she gave the energy that we needed, just a little bit, not too much, but a little bit of energy that we needed. And then, yeah, the Pugh for Krieger, I was so confused, as usual, about Ellis and her decision-making, but somehow that worked out, I guess. Pugh did a few good things where she was, and then, yeah, the Hinkle, that was just, I mean, I have no comment. I don't even know what to say about her right now, but I haven't been any kind of excited about her coming in the game. Like when she comes in, I'm like, well, what's going to happen this time? Like I just don't trust her yet on the national team and what she's capable of. I just don't know. So I wasn't happy with the substitutions. I wanted to see McCaffrey, KO, maybe even a backup goalkeeper, but the game was pretty close, so I can understand that. Yeah, not happy with that.
Well, it's weird because we already had questions about her, and I was thinking maybe this is going to be her time to shine and get comfortable the more she's been with the team, and then she comes in and does what we expect, have a struggle a bit. But I won't dog her out too much because I think she's part of Jen Hayes' team, so I'll let Hayes actually tear her apart if she wants to. Jen, what were your thoughts on the second half and substitutions?
Well, the whole thing with Dunn coming out, I mean, I checked the stats for this game, and Dunn had the fewest number of passes. Her thing is she doesn't pass the ball. She likes to dribble it a lot. And in a game like this, I think we needed to be quick, have more passing, be quicker on it, and she wasn't doing that. So in that regard, I can understand why Ellis took her out and put in Press, who can give that spark, and she did. She looked really lively when she first came in, and then I think it was when she hit that post, it just seemed like all the energy she brought in just evaporated, and it was like back to normal service. As far as the Pugh substitution, I think Ellis wanted to go 3 in the back, bring in another attacker, and she's still trying to figure out if Pugh is going to be one of the 18. So she tried to put her in that situation to see what she can do.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she brought in Hinkle, by that time we had scored, and it just pains me because I love Hinkle on the Flash. She was one of the better players for us last year.
Yeah.
I mean, even the first game when they were getting blown out by the rain, I don't think you can point to any of the rain goals and say that was on Hinkle. She was just absolutely solid for us all season long. One of our best players. But with the national team, again, it's showing why it's such a step up, why you can see players that have been great for club not make it on the national team. She just doesn't seem ready to be a full-time national team player at this point. Maybe that'll come with another season or two of NWSL, but yeah, that was a horrendous giveaway that she gave right to Ocampo. Fortunately, hope is hope, and she was wide awake after pretty much doing nothing for 87 86, 87 minutes, and she stopped that. But yeah, it was just not very good. So, I mean, I don't want to criticize her too much because that hurts me, but it was a bad mistake, and yeah, I'd be really surprised if she was she was in on the radar after this tournament.
Would you know?
At least for a while.
I see there's more viewers, so if you're just tuning in, make sure to use the hashtag WoSoTalk, and we will say what you have to say on air if it's something funny or important or even cool. All right, well, I'll go back to you, Jen. And it's funny when you were talking about the rain, I saw a little sly smile come across Jackie's face. You talked about that beatdown, but I'll let you talk about the overall performance of the U.S. Women's National Team in this game. What do you feel like? How do you feel they performed in this game overall?
Not good at all. Not good at all. You know, I was trying to decide who I thought was the worst player, and I honestly couldn't decide between Klingenberg, Horan, and as much as it pains me to say it, I thought Lloyd was terrible. I thought that was one of her worst games that we have seen in a very long time. You know, constantly with the bad touches, giving the ball away. You know, just not connecting well with Alex. It was a really bad game from her, and compounded by the fact that she missed a penalty, which she hasn't really done since that infamous one in 2011. So, yeah, just not a very good performance overall. But credit to us for finding a way to get a win when we're still playing like crap.
That's what good teams do. Jackie, your thoughts on overall performance?
Well, I like that we continued to put pressure on Mexico. I think that was really important, not to, you know, get down or lose confidence in that regard. But other than the goal, I don't know who's going to be playing on Monday versus Puerto Rico, and I think playing in, you know, 2 games in a matter of a few days, I think that also came into play as far as their energy. And how sharp they were. And Lloyd did have a really rough game. Klingenberg was kind of, I mean, the whole team, it was just an off day really for everyone. So, and that happens, you know, we're not perfect, but, and I think we can take some learning lessons, you know, from this game, what we did wrong and what we can improve on. So it wasn't a bad thing that we had an off game, you know, we came out with the win and we advanced. So I think they definitely realized, you know, what they did wrong, and I think the fact that we do play Puerto Rico, I think it'll be nice to kind of hopefully have some different players come in and see what they can do. But yeah, overall it was just, it wasn't pretty, but we got the win. Back to you.
Did we lose?
Did the red cap freeze?
Looks a little frozen. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, he froze.
All right, so yeah, I'll take that cue then. So yeah, what you guys were all saying, I think we were not able to finish in the third. I think they were just so thrown with how to handle the defense. So I guess it's something to know, like going forward, it's something to fix, if you can say. Yeah, I think they did keep on trying. So like, credit, they should have tried differently, but they kept on trying. Good on Mexico, like. That was like awesome. It kind of sucked for them to get that hand penalty or handball or whatever you want to call it. Because I was just like, oh, I kind of felt bad for them. Like I was like, yeah, okay, we got it. But like, oh, that really sucks because you guys at least kind of. But yeah, it's definitely something. I think for Puerto Rico, it'll be interesting. I think it'll kind of be it's a wake up call at least for one thing, and then it'll be when the lineup. I think they'll do new people, because at least it's Puerto Rico. I guess we said the same thing about Mexico, though, but, I mean, it's Puerto Rico, so hopefully it won't be as bad.
Yeah, I agree. I think that call really, it was unfortunate for Mexico, but as a U.S. fan, you know, we can't change the call, so, yeah, rough all around.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you all said. Everything. Continue.
And as far as the call goes, you know, I've watched that replay about 2 or 3 dozen times, trying to decide was it a legit call, was it not. It does hit her hand. We can argue, oh, it was intentional or not. It does hit her hand. So by the letter of the law, the referee was within her rights to call that. And we have the advantage of being able to see the replays 10, 20, 30, 100 times. The referees have to make a decision, within a second. So it's harsh, but I can't say that it was a 100% wrong call.
Yeah. I guess for me with this whole game, just my review of it, I almost feel like now we have to go back out there with that same lineup we had these last 2 games because it was so ugly in the first half stuff, and it really wasn't clicking like we wanted it to. So let's probably trot them back out there. I want the substitutions to be different. I think KO is blowing dust on the bench at this moment, and I don't know who McCaffrey is anymore. Is she a player, or is she just there watching for the sideline for great to see? Let's see players like that, because I think they could make a real difference in games sometimes that are kind of a bit tougher for us, even though we shouldn't be having too many tough games. So I really would like to see them at least in this next game. Other than that, it was a rough one to watch for the most part, just because Mexico was coming in looking to counterattack, and we're going to drop everyone behind the ball. So maybe let's send the same lineup back out there. I guess we can't really experiment like we'd all want to see that KO, as everyone's always going to champion for. And let's see what happens with these players. Maybe they can come out a little bit sharper, and as you said, Danica, not hanging out at the bar too long, and it'll be better this time around. So that is my thoughts on that game. So now, do we have any other stories or things we want to mention before we head off on our merry way?
Sinclair.
I remember you said you were pissed about something.
I'm just kidding.
No, it's fine, Danica. I was going to let Jen rant because she wanted to go off on something, and then you can say what you have to say.
Well, I wanted to, but since somebody decided to kill the rant section, I think it'd be better served for an OP in the near future, maybe. As far as the next game, I would love to see massive changes. I know Jill else might be concerned with, it wasn't working, maybe we need more time. I let the starters have some rest, especially since 2 of them are sitting on yellow cards, and we don't want to risk another one to have them out for a semifinal. So, let most of the starters get some rest. Let's see what the game changers do. Use an Ellis term, it's Puerto Rico. It's much weaker competition than Costa Rica and Mexico, but still, let them run out. Let most of the starters get some rest and see what happens.
What you trying to say against those Puerto Ricans? We're not going to be a tough challenge? No, I'm joking. Jackie.
No, I mean, I don't have any other thoughts. Just I hope. Actually, I would like to see Ellis start different players than the previous 2 games, because I feel like, I would be tired, if I played 2 games in a matter of a week. So, like I said, I think we're all ready for KO to come back on, make an appearance. I get that she wants to, get that chemistry between them, but I think this would be a good game to maybe rest up for Friday is, I think, our next, game. So for me, I really want to see some players get out there and play, maybe the full 90, maybe get pressed up top for a while, maybe Mewis in the middle, I don't know. So it was just a rough game, but I think if we rebound, nicely, in a good way against Puerto Rico, the confidence will be there.
And see, I can agree with that. It's just I don't feel it's the Ellis way. We got to follow things the Ellis way, and that is to play the same roster out there, no matter how long or how many games they've already played. That's why it feels like it's just as much as we want it. I don't feel like it'll happen. It just doesn't seem realistic. So I'm just rolling with Ellis.
I would love if we played Nair in goal. I just want Nair to start so bad.
Yeah.
But,
right on. I agree with that.
I'll co-sign that. Sorry to the fans of Ashlyn who might be watching. She's gotten her chances. Let's give Nair a chance or 2.
See, people are going to be mad at you. Those Ashlyn fans don't play, man. You can't say that.
Let them be mad. I'm not afraid of the Ashlyn.
Yeah, I really want Nair to get a good start, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, right? Forever bench, it seems like. Yeah.
Except for that time she apparently got a yellow card from the bench.
I remember that. That was so weird.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I guess Danica, Comments, concerns? What would you like to see?
Yeah, I would agree with everything. Well, with changing up the lineup, I think give the other players some shots. As you say, it's not necessarily the Ellis way, but maybe today's the day. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm getting a phone call, so my computer started acting up. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe it's not the Ellis way.
Ellen, the generous one. Yeah.
You know, exactly. Same person, right? But on a completely different note, Sinclair today, if you were watching, she tied me a ham, or she passed me a ham in Glomus. So completely different. Just felt the need to mention that.
Do I have to throw on my Canada hat for that right now? Or?
Uh,
No, you already got the red enough without adding more to it.
All right, I'll save that Canada hat for another time when we're on the
You
Canadian
guys
show or
think she'll
something.
pass Abby?
I
I think she will, but I mean that hurts to say, but I mean it's a possibility. You know, she's a Canadian legend and she's done great things for the game. So I mean, hats off to her for, getting that record second list.
don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, she says she wants to try for 2019, but
Right.
but just over the last couple of years, we've seen little bits of decline start to creep into her game here and there.
Right.
I don't know if in next year or 2 years after that that she won't look like Abby 2.0. You know, so it's hard to say.
With
Yeah.
the hairstyle too.
I don't think with the hairstyle. I don't think that Sync. I don't think Sync rolls like that. But I mean, as an American, I would love to see Abby keep that record.
Right.
So, but if Sync does break it, I'll be happy for her. I just don't know. I mean, we can't see down the road, so she might not. I'm 50-50 at this point.
Yeah, that is a 50-50 thing. I really don't know, to be honest. I always just tell people, imagine her if she played on our team with the talent she's had and the goals she's put up. That would be sick to see how many goals she would have had in her career. But I got nothing but love for Canadians, so I can't really say anything bad about it, or it'd probably end up hurting me in the long run in my personal life. So, I mean, yeah, let's see how many she scores, and let's see what happens. Other than that, I think that's everything, guys. I noticed our viewership dropped down. We lost a lot of viewers when we start talking about Canada, so that says a lot. I guess we won't bring them up anymore in the show then. You guys are going to run from the show after we're done talking about the U.S. national team.
I blame John Herdman. Him and his tight shirts.
God
Not a
damn.
good one.
Yeah, not a good one.
No, there's
Jesus,
only
Joe
one Canadian I
Jackson.
don't.
All
There's
right.
only one Canadian I don't like, and it's it
Okay.
rhymes with Slam Crady. I'm not over what she did in London. That thing that we shall not talk about. I'm not over that.
No, she blocked me on Twitter, so I don't think she likes me too much either. Other than that, guys, well, that's from the trolling days, bad days back in the day. I think that's another episode of Off the Pulse. We should be back Thursday. Yeah, we're going to be a couple of days after the game because people work, and when people work, they don't want to come on an episode. So that's understandable. We'll be on Thursday. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about what lies ahead. I don't know. I'm feeling like pretty soon we should throw a contest since that gets people to view because everyone likes free stuff. So I'll think of something free to give you guys down the road. We'll see. I'll probably pick it out of a trash can and I will send it to you free too. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be nasty and dirty. I'm going to make sure there's a lot of junk on it. You guys always taking free stuff. That's another episode of Off the Pulse. I'm your host, DJ Redcap. That's Jackie Blondcap, Janet No Cap, and Jin Hayes Jedi Cap. And we're going to do our little wave as usual, and we will see you guys Thursday. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I have to say that now because every YouTuber says that. Oh, so
Don't forget
shameless.
to comment
Oh,
below.
DJ.
Right, it's good to comment below.
Like
Wait.
the vid.
You got to do that wave, people. Do that wave. We've been teaching Danica. Let's see. Her wave's gotten better. I like
Is it more side or is it what's
More turn.
okay?
Yeah, it's more turn. See, it's more turn. Why is mine turning completely? Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.